You smile at dinner, but inside you feel far away. The laughter around you fades into a blur. You nod at the right times, hoping no one notices the quiet ache in your chest. On the outside, everything looks fine. Inside, something essential feels missing. And this is where the real question begins. What is spirituality? It is the silent bridge between appearing fine and feeling whole. Not as dogma or ritual, but as a way of returning to yourself. Pause for one breath right now. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. This is where spirituality begins. When most people ask what spirituality is, the mind jumps to religion, sacred texts, or retreats in the mountains. But spirituality is closer. It lives in the body, in the chest that softens with one slow breath, in the tears that rise with the song you can't explain, in the small ritual of lighting a candle when the day feels heavy. Without this, life can look perfect on the outside and still feel empty within. Spirituality is what turns the lights back on in the house of your life. That is what spirituality means in daily life. Disconnection from your spirit rarely begins with dramatic events. It begins quietly, in choices that silence your truth. You say yes when you want to say no. You stay late at work out of fear of being judged. You smile while your chest feels tight. Each of these small acts teaches you that approval matters more than authenticity. Over time, your inner voice grows faint. Then comes the critic, the harsh whisper telling you you're not enough. And sometimes we even use spirituality as escape, telling ourselves everything happens for a reason, when what we truly need is to grieve. These are not just habits. They are signals that you have stepped away from your own spirit. And if lately you've been feeling restless or anxious, these patterns may be the reason. Pause for one slow inhale. Notice how your body responds to the idea of truth withheld. This awareness is the first step back. So what is spirituality in practice? It is not about grand gestures. It begins with small rituals that reconnect you with your essence. The first is solitude with intention. Take a short walk without your phone. Let silence reveal what you have been too busy to hear. The second is the boundary script. Boundaries are sacred acts of spirituality because they honor your truth. Write one sentence before a difficult conversation. For example, I care about us, and I also need a moment to think before I respond. The clarity feels like a breath of freedom. The third is a symbolic ritual. Light a candle at the end of the day. Write down one word you are ready to release. Place a crystal where you see it often. These simple anchors remind you that spirituality is not about copying someone else's path. It is about remembering your own. That is the living answer to what spirituality really is. At this point, many people ask, is spirituality the same as religion? Emily grew up doing everything right. She attended every service, volunteered at every event, lived within the rules. From the outside, her life looked aligned. Inside, she felt numb. She realized she was showing up from duty, not presence. That realization was painful, almost like betraying her upbringing. But it opened the question, what is spirituality if it is not religion? For Emily, it was the difference between following rules and following her heart. She began journaling in the morning, meditating at night, walking in nature. She discovered that the stillness she once sought in prayer could also be found in her breath and body. Her awakening was not dramatic. It was a quiet afternoon when she finally felt at home in herself. For some, religion and spirituality overlap. For others, they part ways. What matters is whether your path brings you closer to truth and peace. So what is spirituality for you? Reading about it opens ideas, but writing lets your own truth speak. Ask yourself, where do I feel most like myself without needing to prove anything? Or, what am I carrying that doesn't belong to me? Or, what does coming home mean for me today? Your words don't need to be perfect. They are not for approval. They are mirrors. Take a moment now. Imagine writing one sentence of truth you've been holding inside. That small act is the beginning of return. And here is the final answer. What is spirituality? It is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering you were never broken. Presence is already here, waiting for you to notice. Place a hand on your heart. Take one steady breath. Ask yourself, what step can I take today to return to myself? Because often, what we call anxiety begins in this very place, the silent gap between who we are on the outside and the connection we have lost inside. When that inner bond weakens, the nervous system sounds the alarm. Anxiety becomes the signal that it is time to come home. If this reflection spoke to you, I invite you to take the next step. Discover your personal anxiety profile in just 3 minutes. My scientific quiz reveals how your mind reacts under stress and the exact step you can take toward clarity, calm, and peace. Click the link in the pinned comment or in the description and take the quiz now.